Shalom, 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 Ishfacha. Thanks again for tuning in to the spirits, the waters, and the blood. Um, Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for promoting the channel. Thanks for taking the time to hit the like, share, and subscribe button at the bottom of the screen or the bottom of this video player. Take the time out to hit the the to hit the subscribe, like, share, subscribe, most definitely the notifications bell. That's what I was trying to remember. To hit the notification bell just in case, so you'll get the notifications of when I release something new. Basically today's, I'm gonna do a little recap of the video that I'm about to share is by Brother Ben, or it's like a movie, and I'll leave the link to it, all fair use and educational purposes for individuals to know the history of the children of Israel, and most definitely Bnei Judah or Judah. Um, like I said before, I'll leave Brother Bnei Israel's link to this particular movie that he's made. It's called Hidden Hebrews. It's more than 2 hours long, so I didn't want to, I guess, give a whole breakdown all the way through. I kind of already did a breakthrough all the way through. I have a prior video. You take the time out, go through the spirits, the waters, the blood, look through my content, and you'll find one that's entitled Black History, period. Black History, period. And I share the same information that I discovered that Brother Benaya Israel um, he discovered along his studies. So basically, my studies and his studies, and then once I started getting familiar with his content, and most definitely this particular Hidden Hebrews. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it all the way through. You can start off by checking into my particular video, like I said before, the spirits, the waters, the blood, um, Black history, period. And I give a breakdown of how Israel, or the whole 12 tribes, got disrupted in the beginning, ever since the northern kingdom fell to Assyria. And then when they were released from their captivity or broke away and even fleeing away, how they went into the northern western parts of Africa, the eastern parts, they started to spread through Africa. So Brother Benaiah Israel, he most definitely goes through and he touches on other topics or specifications in different parts that I didn't touch on. And I do the same thing. I touch on certain topics that he didn't touch on, such as the good Jesus, the good Jesus slave ship, Levi. Most definitely. Take the time out to check it out. Please don't hesitate to leave me a comment. Sometimes I will answer comments or reply to comments, especially if I see them. And you be respectful to me and I'll be respectful to you. It's fair exchange. Another thing is that if you have any particular comments, any ideas you like to share, yeah, please leave them, and maybe I can address it directly, or I can make a video on it. I'm always open for ideas. Um, so as soon as I get word, or if it's interesting enough and I've ran across enough questions like this particular topic in this video that I'm about to share today, then you'll actually it's I just was talking about the same thing. So basically, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns or what have you, just feel free to post your comments in the comment section, and I'll take the time out, to reply either with a direct comment, or or particularly make a video on it if I have enough individuals, or had enough individuals making or had concerns on it. Most definitely. Tawada Yahuwah for all of you Mishpach that's tuning in, all my family that's tuning in today. Bahashem Hamashiach Yahuwah Shah, Huvain Barakatah Select, Ruach Kadesh, His Holy Spirit. Most definitely. Hope you like, and most of all, please hit the like, share, subscribe, even leaving a comment, just notification bell, and most of all, enjoy. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna start to share my screen now, and we could actually go ahead and start his video. Most definitely enjoy. I'll be back.
Israel, these are your forefathers. Okay, let's take a quick look at our timeline. Around 33 AD, the children of Judah had given Yeshua over to the Red Dragon to be killed by Roman crucifixion. After the Messiah's death and resurrection, the Red Dragon destroyed Jerusalem in 70 AD. Along with destroying the Most High's temple, Rome razed the Most High's temple to the ground. The children of Judah were then persecuted mercilessly by the Red Dragon. And around 321 AD, the Red Dragon seized control of the Christian church when the Roman Emperor Constantine was made the head of the Christian church. It was at this time the Red Dragon began changing the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. For example, the Emperor of Rome established Sunday as the new day of rest and outlawed observing the Most High Yah's laws, statutes, and commandments. Around 711 AD, the Muslims, Saracens, and Jews conquered Spain and Portugal. Led by Commander Tariq ibn Ziyad, for a time, the Jews lived peaceably with their Muslim brothers in Spain and Portugal. The children of Judah from around the region flooded into Spain and Portugal. However, as time passed on, the Talmud was introduced to the Jews of Spain and Portugal. This caused the children of Judah to follow after the traditions of men, instead of following after the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Yah. This caused the Jews of Spain and Portugal to be placed under a curse. This is when the Red Dragon repaid the Jews and the Muslims back for his defeat in 711 AD in Spain and Portugal. The Red Dragon began laying the foundation for the Inquisition and the transatlantic slave trade. The Red Dragon issued a series of papal bulls and edicts or decrees that would raise the level of Judah's persecution to new heights for many years to come. These decrees and papal bulls would send the children of Judah to the four corners of the world as slaves. It would also kill the men and women of Judah who would not forfeit the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Yah. And last but not least, these papal bulls would spread the Red Dragon's version of Christianity around the world. The Red Dragon would use its power to deceive the whole world. Let's take a closer look. Judah has fallen. All seem lost. Or so it seemed. sent into slavery and sent to the shores of West Africa. As the following reference reads, it reads, large numbers of Jews were expelled from Portugal and taken to the coast of southern Guinea, which is the coast of West Africa. And let's not forget that these Jews were indeed called Black or Negro Portuguese, as the following reference reads. And it reads, King John II in 1492 expelled all the Jews to the island of St. Thomas, which had been discovered in 1471 into other Portuguese settlements on the continent of Africa. And from these banished Jews, the Black Portuguese, or the Negro Portuguese, as they are called. And once placed on the west coast of Africa, these Negro Portuguese were sold into slavery, where it reads, during the flourishing days of the slave trade, from 16 to 18,000 were annually transported from Ajuda, as the Portuguese called this place. Once placed on the west coast of Africa, these Negro Portuguese were sold into slavery. As the reference reads, it reads that the said king sold all those Jews for slaves. But why? And how did this happen? How did the children of Judah fall so low? To answer this question, we need to go back to the beginning of the conquest of Spain and Portugal by the Moors and the Jews in 711 AD. When the Jews and Moors swept through the Iberian Peninsula, defeating the Goths, with their victory, the Moors and Jews ruled the Iberian Peninsula for almost 800 years. The Jews enjoyed peace and prosperity as they followed the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Yah. That is, until someone showed up with a new doctrine.
Congratulations on your victory. And now, let me teach you about the Talmud. Let me teach you how to worship Hashem, my brother.
Who was this shadowy figure pushing the doctrine of the Talmud? Well, who teaches the doctrine of the Talmud today? And it reads, the Talmud, however, was so little known in Spain that they were obliged to send deputies to the Babylonian academies to decide the disputes which rose among them. Yahshua warned of this doctrine of men, which if followed would cause Judah to turn away from the Most High Yah's laws. And unfortunately, Judah took the bait. They began following the Talmud in Spain and Portugal. This would soon lead to Judah's demise. And it reads, and he said unto them, and full well you reject the commandment of Yah, that you may keep your own tradition. The interval of tranquility which the Jews enjoyed was about the middle of the 11th century, disturbed by an unfortunate event. Joseph Halalevi, a learned and zealous rabbi, assisted by the Arabic version of the Talmud. The Jews began to be persecuted by the Moors and eventually persecuted by the church. Now keep in mind that the church during this time isn't the church or assembly found in the Bible or in the New Testament. This was a new Gentile church. What is a Hebrew Israelite? Hebrew Israelites are the Most High Yah's chosen, set-apart people. We are descended from Noah's son, Shem. Our forefathers are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was later changed to Israel. And Jacob had 12 sons, who later fathered the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 sons are known as Benjamin, Joseph, Naphtali, Asher, Gad, Dan, Issachar, Zebulun, Judah, Levi, Simeon, and Reuben. Now, let's review a few notable Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, such as King Saul and the Apostle Paul, Joseph and Samson, Aaron and Moses, King David and King Solomon, and of course, our Messiah, Yahshua HaMashiach, along with the 12 apostles, which made up the leadership of the church throughout the entire New Testament. They were all Hebrews, all Israelites. And regarding Yahshua, Hebrews chapter 7, verse 14 reads, "For it is evident that our Hamashiach, our Messiah, sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moshe spake nothing concerning the priesthood." Again, from Yahshua to the apostles, they were all Hebrews. They were all Israelites. In fact, throughout the entire New Testament, the leadership team, the head leadership team of the church consisted solely of Hebrews and of Israelites. It wasn't until the 4th century when the leadership team of the church changed dramatically to something never before seen in both the Old or New Testament. In the 4th century, after the death of the Messiah, we have a Roman emperor, Emperor Constantine, become the head or the leadership of the church. For the first time ever, we have a Roman Gentile seated at the head of the church, along with Roman bishops. We also see similar setup in the modern day churches. Modern day churches recognize Roman Gentile church fathers, such as Martin Luther or John Calvin. This too deviates from the church leadership seen in the New Testament, which was all Hebrews, all Israelites. Once in power, we see these two Roman Gentile-led churches openly persecute the Hebrews and the Israelites. In other words, after the Roman Gentiles took over the leadership of the church, the Roman Gentile-led church openly persecuted and enslaved and killed the children of Israel. Gentile church enslaved the Hebrew Israelites by promoting a doctrine of lawlessness. The Roman Gentile church taught the children of Israel that they were free from the law, that they no longer had to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Yah, all while enslaving them.
Be free. Be the law. You don't need. Yeshua said, lay those sins on me. No need to do it. Now be free. Now put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. You don't need. Yeshua said, lay those sins on me. No need to do it. Now be free. Now put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. Be free. Be free. Be free. Be free. Put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. Be free. Be free. No work. Be free. Be free. Be free. Put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. You don't need. Yeshua said, lay those hands on me. No need to do it. Now be free. Now put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. You don't need. Yeshua said, lay those hands on me. Be free. Now be free. Now put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. Be free. Be free. Be free. Be free. Be free. Put your shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. You don't need. Yeshua said, lay them sins on me. No need to do it. Now be free. Now put these shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. You don't need. Yeshua said, lay them sins on me. No need to do it. Now be free. Now put them shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs. Be free. Be free. Put these shackles on your hands and your feet and your legs, son. Be free. Be free. Be free. Be free.
The Roman Gentile church taught that the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Yah were done away with. They also taught that the Hebrew Israelites were done away with, all while actively attempting to do away with the Hebrew Israelites through slavery and persecution. And finally, the Roman Gentile church attempted to change the name of the Messiah, changing it from Yeshua to Jesus or Jesus. Again, this wasn't done by the Jews nor the Greeks in the New Testament. This was done years later under the direction of the Roman Gentile church. And it reads, divine prophecy declares that the Jews shall continue a distinct people scattered among the Gentiles until the conversion of Israel to the Messiah, while they yet shall endure persecution. The Roman Catholics, ignorant of the nature of the Gospels, have endeavored wholly to destroy this people or to compel them to profess the Christian faith. Edicts, the most severe and cruel, have been published against them from time to time by different popes in France and Spain. They have been oppressed, fined, banished, unless they would turn Christians. Thousands of them in Spain and Portugal have professed the name of Christ to escape punishment, yet in heart remaining Jews, abhorring the idolatry of the papists. The inquisitors proceeded against them, therefore, as heretics and apostates. They are condemned by the inquisitors to endure various punishments, according to the nature or degree of the alleged crimes, as privation of all intercourse with Jews, penalties, public whipping, and burning at the stake. The nation of the Jews, after the destruction of the city and temple of Jerusalem, were brought into miserable bondage and captivity and dispersed throughout the whole world. But being impatient of their miseries, they have often taken up arms and endeavored to assert their liberties. But having been subdued by most grievous slaughters, they have at length laid down their fierceness and are forced to bear the yoke. The Christians, partly through fear of the rage of the Jews and partly through the intemperate zeal of Christianity, have endeavored either wholly to destroy by various miseries these dispersed people, or to tire them out by the grievous and length of their miseries, and thus to compel them to profess the Christian faith. Upon this account, various edicts have at different times proceeded against the Jews. Some have prescribed them in the countries where they are lived, others have deprived them of their liberties and reduced them to slavery. Others have stripped them of these advantages and privileges which their other subjects have enjoyed, that by these means they might at length be wholly extinguished or wearied out by the miseries they endured for their Judaism, renounce it and embrace the Christian religion. Very severe edicts have been made against them, especially in Spain, where a very large number of them dwelt and were thought to endanger the safety of the kingdom. Who exactly were these Jews who were sent into captivity to the four corners of the earth? The scripture specifically tells us it was the children of Judah who would go into slavery. Now, taking a closer look at the circumstances, we see why it had to be the children, as the prophets prophesied. Slavery, with all its disadvantages, gave the Negro race by way of recompense one great consolation, namely the Christian religion, and a hope and belief in a future life. The slave to whom on this side of the grave the door of hope seemed closed learned from Christianity to lift his face from earth to heaven. And that made his burden lighter. In the end, the hope and the aspiration of the race in slavery fixed themselves on the vision of the resurrection with his long white robes and golden slippers. This hope and this aspiration, which are the theme of so many of the old Negro hymns, found expression in the one institution that slavery permitted to the Negro people, the Negro Church. It was natural and inevitable that the Negro Church, coming into existence as it did under slavery, should be permitted the religious life of the Negro to express itself in ways almost wholly detached from morality. There was little in slavery to encourage the sense of personal responsibility. And it reads, in the Methodist, Baptist, Presbyterian, and Episcopal churches, the colored people during the service sit in a particular part of the house. Now generally known as the Negro pew, they are not permitted to sit in any other nor hire or purchase pews as other people, nor would they be permitted to sit, even if invited in the pews of white persons. The Roman Gentile church was not only Judah's teachers of Roman Christianity, they were also their slave owners. And it reads, there are in the United States about 2,487,113 slaves and 386,069 free people of color. Of the slaves, 80,000 are members of the Methodist Church, 80,000 of the Baptist Church, and about 40,000 of other churches. These church members have no exemption from being sold by their owners as other slaves are. Instances are not rare, in other words, it's common for slave-holding members of churches selling slaves who are members of the same church with themselves. And members of churches have followed the business of slave auctioneers. In some of the older slave states, as Virginia and South Carolina, churches in their corporate character hold slaves, who are generally hired out for the support of the minister. The following is taken from the Charleston Courier of February 12, 1835, and reads, on Tuesday, the 17th instant, will be sold at the north of the exchange at 10 o'clock. A prime gang of 10 Negroes, accustomed to the culture of cotton and provisions, belonging to the Independent Church in Christ Church Parish.
Thanks for tuning in again. Most definitely. It's been edifying. If you have any questions, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification icon. Leave a comment. Stay blessed. I'm going to close it out with this. Shema Yisrael. Deuteronomy 6:4 and 5. Shema. Shema Yisrael. Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad, Ve'ahavta et Yahweh Eloheicha, B'chol levavcha, B'chol neshefcha, B'chol mehodecha, et lo yachelet latir, Kavod Yahweh, Hashem HaMashiach, Yahweh Shah, B'vein Barakata, Sherech, Ruach Kadesh, Yahweh Hitav. Stay blessed, stay prayed up. Don't let nobody tell you different. Return back to Yah.